Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to do a comparison between the original Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Reno versus the new Remake Reno made by PlayArts Kai. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video, and with that being said, let's get right into it. Stay tuned, guys.
Take it slow.
Okay, so first up, let's take a look at the packaging for both of these figures. So as you can see, we have a very different design. So on the original PlayArts, we actually have the figure itself in a nice window display packaging to showcase the figure inside the box with all the accessories, and we even have a little window at the top. Whereas on the new PlayArts Kai version, we have a nice photo of the figure, and we have the PlayArts Kai and Final Fantasy VII Remake logos. So now as for the sides of the packaging, once again it's very different. We have a window display to showcase the figure, which is pretty nice, you know, I kinda miss this design. And on the remake we have the logos of the game. So on the back we have a couple of screenshots of the figures themselves. So we have the original PlayArts, and we even have a preview for some of the other figures in the line. We have Yuffie and Kadash. I really hope they make a new Kadash figure, that would just be amazing to see. And as for the remake, we just have a couple of screenshots of the figure. And so here's the inside of the PlayArts Kai figure. So we have a nice photo of the figure, and down here we have a bit of text. So if you guys want to read that, then feel free to pause and read. And we have the figure in a nice window display to showcase the figure inside the box. And that's a look at the original PlayArts. And so this is a look at the accessories that come with the figures. So there's quite a big difference, as you guys can see. So as for the original PlayArts, we have a couple pairs of hands. We have the baton. We have this super old PlayArts stand, which I totally forgot about. We have the figure itself, and of course we have the packaging. So yes, that's a look at the original. Not a great deal of accessories. Now as for the PlayArts Kai figure, it's a different story. We have two pairs of interchangeable faceplates. We have the baton, quite a few pairs of hands. We have the display stand in the back, and we have the figure itself. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at my entire PlayArts Kai, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and AC figures. So I don't have the original PlayArts Reno on display. I just don't really see any reason why to display that figure when I have the remake version. I don't really think that I need the original anymore. So you know, it's kind of sad to say, but I'll probably sell the original PlayArts Reno after making this video. But you know, I just think it's about time to upgrade to the new remake figures. Anyhow guys, I will have a video on every single figure here on my channel, so if you guys want to check it out, then they will be on there. So be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on all these remake figure reviews. So yeah, with that being said, let's take a closer look at the original PlayArts and PlayArts Kai Reno. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, so here's a side-by-side comparison on both of these figures. And I mean, guys, what can I say? There's such a big difference. Even in terms of the height, you know, it's such a massive, massive difference. This new Remake Reno is almost like twice the height of the original. I mean, the paint job is completely different, the sculpting is different. You know, the accessories, just everything about both these figures is completely different. It's just kind of insane how far PlayArts Kai came from these original PlayArts figures. So yeah, it's pretty obvious which one is the better figure. But yeah, what about you guys? Which one do you like? And do any of you guys still own any of the original PlayArts figures? Let me know in the comments below. And just super quick, I just wanted to give you guys a look at this original PlayArts stand. I totally forgot about these stands, you know, these are such old stands. I hated these stands. These are such terrible, terrible display stands for the figure. I just never liked these at all. But I just wanted to share them with you guys because I'm sure a lot of you guys probably remember these stands. And yeah, it's just kind of like a blast from the past. But anyhow, super random, let's take a look at the figures. Okay, so let's begin with the original Reno from AC, made by PlayArts. So yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to say here. The paint job is just so bad. I don't remember the skin tone being this yellow. You know, it's just such a bad paint job, which a lot of these old PlayArts figures had this super shiny wash, which I was never a fan of. So yeah, it's not the best paint job. It really doesn't look that great. compared to the remake version of Reno, which has a very nice paint job. You know, it's a very smooth, clean paint job. It looks really, really good. But yeah, not so great on the original. Now, as for the sculpt, I mean, it's not a bad head sculpt. I still like it. You can see his eyes are painted blue in there, and his lips are painted reds. Even like the hairpiece is quite nicely sculpted, and it is painted a very dark red, whereas on the remake, it's painted a light red. But anyhow, that's a look at the head sculpts. Moving down here to the body of the figure, it pretty much has the same design. It's basically a guy in a black suit with red hair. That's the essential design of Reno, and it's pretty much the exact same on the remake figure. Not much of a difference in terms of the design, but a very big difference in terms of detail. So you can see on the original, even like the whole posture and the build of the figure, it's very stiff. It's a very awkward looking figure. He just doesn't look quite right. Whereas on the remake, it's a very relaxed body shape, it's a very nice sculpt, and it looks very natural. We do have some nice detail in here, like all these buttons and the zips sculpted in there. And here's a look at the hand holding the baton, which is pretty nicely done. And moving down here to the legs, as you can see, the legs are so straight, you know, it's just like one solid block, which doesn't look that great. And as for the remake, the body is very, very nicely sculpted. All these nice details, like the buttons and the belt and buckle sculpted in there. And here is the hand holding the baton with this strap, which is made out of a soft piece of plastic. So yeah, I mean, the remake figure is just so much better in every single way. All these nice details, like the folds and creases sculpted into the fabric. And of course the boots, which are very, very shiny, whereas on the original it's more like a matte finish. And this is the side of the figures, and once again we have a very big height difference. I mean, this original play art only comes up to like the torso piece of the remake. Yeah, such a massive difference. But anyhow, let's take a look at the profile of the face. So yeah, quite a nice profile. It's you know, I would say the sculpt still holds up in terms of the head sculpt. It looks pretty good. We can see the red hair and the ponytail at the back, which is pretty much the same on the new remake version. This one's just more details, and it's got a better paint job. But I mean, it's not a bad sculpt on the original. As for the body piece, as I mentioned, it's a very stiff figure. It just doesn't look quite right compared to the remake version of Reno. And this is the other side of the figures, and it's pretty much the exact same. There's really not too much of a difference here, but we do have a better look at the hand holding the baton, which is actually very nice on the original. There's not too much of a difference on the remake, but I think we have some materia sculpted into the handle piece of the baton, and we also have this soft piece of plastic for the strap. And so from the back, I mean, there's really not too much of a difference here. They pretty much look to be the same figure, apart from the obvious height difference. So here we have the original play arts. The back of the hairpiece is very nicely sculpted and pretty nicely painted, and the suit is very smooth. It gives off a nice matte finish. And here is the remake with this really awesome hairpiece. And the back, which is also a matte finish. So yeah, not too much of a difference here. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation for the figures, and let's begin with the original Play Arts Reno. So now it's pretty obvious to mention, but there's quite a big difference in terms of the articulation for both of these figures. This is a very, very old figure, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyhow, we have a ball joint at the head sculpt, we have a ball joint at the base of the neck. As for the shoulders, we have these, it seems to be like, I guess it's like a ball hinge joint, and these are actually very, very nice joints. You can bend the arms all the way up like so. Now, as for the biceps, we have these swivels, and we have a single hinge joint at the elbow, which doesn't bend all the way up. We have a swivel at the wrist. Inside the torso piece, it seems like we have seems to be like a ball joint in there, but you know, it's very, very restricted. Even though this your jacket piece is made out of a soft piece of plastic, you know, it still hinders the articulation inside the torso. Now as for the hips, it seems like we have, looks to be like a, I guess it's like a swivel joint, almost like a hinge joint in there. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's as far as I can move it out without breaking the legs. As for the thigh, we have a swivel joint in there. So as for the knee, we have a single hinge joint, and it doesn't bend all the way up, so it's not the best joints. We have, it seems to be like a hinge joint at the ankle piece, and we have this super weird like swivel joint at the toe, which I was never a fan of on these older Play Arts figures. But anyhow, that's a look at the articulation for the Reno. Not the best articulation, but I would say it's pretty passable. Next up, let's take a look at the articulation for the new Remake Reno. So as for the head sculpt, we have a ball joint in there. Inside the shoulders, we have these ball hinge joints. And once again, these are very, very nice fluid joints. We have the newly developed double hinge joints at the elbow, so it can bend all the way up, as you can see. There's a ball joint inside the wrists. We have this ball joint inside the torso piece, but once again, just like the original, it's very, very restricted, even though the jacket piece is once again made out of a soft piece of plastic. So inside the hips, we have these ball ratchet joints, and yeah, these are very, very loud joints, although they are very sturdy joints. We have a swivel at the thigh, a double hinge joint at the knee, which can bend all the way up like so. And I've got to say, the joints on this Remake Reno are super, super nice. They're very fluid joints to move. We have a ball hinge joint at the ankle piece, and we have a hinge joint at the toe. So yeah, that's a look at the articulation for both of these figures. Okay, so that's about going to wrap up this comparison review on the Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy VII Remake Reno versus the original Play Arts Reno. He's such a small figure. I mean, this is the last Play Arts figure that I have. So yeah, you know, I just thought I would do a quick comparison review just before I sell off the figure. But yeah, hope this review was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as I mentioned before, I will have a video on every single figure here. So if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So don't forget to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on all these Final Fantasy VII figure reviews. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.